Hello, 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 everybody. We are Planet X Films, Paradigm Review Show in association with Visionz from Ancient Visionz. You bet it. We've been out for a little bit now, but we are back. Sorry about our hour and a half long John Wick 3 review last time, but that film made me very angry. So today we have Rambo Last Blood, 2019 action film starring Sylvester Stallone. Talk to me, boys. First do your intros, welcome back, and then talk to me about the film.
Well, what can we say about Last Blood? It's a Rambo movie that I'm sure, very, very different from all the other Rambo movies. As it pretty much keeps the action there consistently, but it's something that's I don't think anyone that watches action and such, would expect from a Rambo film, but at the same time, would expect from any other film. But the character's still there, the action's still there, so
yep.
It's just, to me, I guess it wasn't like what I really wanted it to be. But
yeah, I agree.
In the end of the day, though, I was still satisfied for what it can give, so at the end of the day, that's how you look at it. Stallone had, a hard time trying to write the script of this because it's been told all over that he's been writing a script to the fifth one, couldn't get any word out till a year or so later. And now now you got this film, that's like the fifth edition. Everyone that's watched Rambo from First Blood to now, that's what they're expecting. Something
right.
new. I mean, it's something new, but it's just not what we expect. So, but it's still delivered. So,
yeah, it's a new movie, like you said, but it's not really something new when you're on Rambo 5. Anyway,
yeah. Pretty much, man. I mean, that's how I could look at it as, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, what were your impressions, at least?
It's like you said, it's not really new, but it's almost like a standalone film in its own right. It's set in that Rambo universe, but it's not exactly like a sequel to the other Rambo films. The previous one was I've forgotten the title of it. Rambo, yeah, John Rambo. That felt more like a Rambo film than this one, and kind of felt followed on more from the first three, whereas this is like just a standalone. I say, here's an adventure featuring John Rambo.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was. I do think, we'll get into this as the review progresses. I think it's still left open to do one final chapter, and I think in that final chapter, and again, I'll talk about this when we get to the end of the review, but that final chapter is where they really need to make it the Rambo film that we should have got this time around. And I think it was a terrible movie because it wasn't terrible.
No, for sure. I couldn't agree more. I guess where I would jump us in at is kind of like what you guys just said and what Caesar and other people said is this one's the Rambo revenge film, and it kind of, I guess maybe it followed too much that blueprint of the John Wicks and everything out now that's like for a vigilante revenge film, which is the current trend in that genre. And it's like this has more of like that Death Wish look to it. You know what I mean? Like it's more like if Rambo was like, I don't know, teamed up with that Death Wish character. So
I say Death Wish mixed with a little bit of Man on Fire.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. But Man on Fire is awesome. So
yeah.
So I kind of feel like we knew what we were going to get because we saw these set pictures and we saw this like trailer and stuff. But like, I was still kind of hoping, like, when you think Mexican cartel, I mean, look at like the Narcos series and like other stuff like that has a more like paramilitary, like, heavy arms, like kind of aspect to it, or like what's that movie? Yeah, there you go. What's that movie? Proof of Life. When he goes down to like Colombia. I was hoping for that. Maybe that was just
like something like that. I think will work out better just because it's saying that one man. You know what I mean? And
right.
Boom, I think it would have worked out.
Yeah. Like, so that's what I thought, but it's all good. But so like Rambo has returned. He's like give people a little bit of background. Like he's going after, what is that? Was that his granddaughter or his?
I think it was his daughter.
It was his niece.
His niece.
Sorry,
so Uncle John Rambo. Imagine if your uncle was a crazy Rambo tunneling in the backyard, and that would be your uncle. And then one day something happens to his niece, and he snaps. He can't take it anymore, and he's Rambo. If you've seen the first four, then you know that he snaps in every movie. That's the plot. There is really no other plot. It's just Rambo snapping. Sometimes he has to go rescue someone or something, but they throw that in there for some subtext. But so he goes off like. I mean, I guess I'll just start it off what I think, guys. Like, just without giving too much plot, just overall, like the first 2/3 were like way too slow for me. Like we all said, like none of the other movies are like that at all. Even part 4 pops off like basically instantly. So like he's just like walking around doing this like family man thing, and this the part. Those are my least favorite parts of the film. I was at overall about a 5, and at times I was possibly at a 4. The way that stuff was like dipping down like that, but it does start to turn up as he goes back and forth with those like antagonist characters at times, and it does. They kind of, I guess what are they trying to show more of like a background with his Rambo character here of like the family life, which is probably stuff that you didn't learn in the other one. So I guess it depends how much you want to learn the character.
And
what do you guys
what's so funny about what you said right there is about the family life. I mean, they obviously showed like it was his father's farm. You know what I mean?
Right.
His father passed away, but I wish it would have explained more about the relationship when like John returned to the farm, how it was with him and his father. Just to get it more like immersed. Like, okay,
I agree.
John found a way of finding comfort, and then come with the niece and then all that shit.
I agree.
It worked out a lot better. But also I think it would have worked a little better having him have him being a war vet, having post traumatic, stress like he did in War One. Because I don't know, like just basically with all the conflicts he's been through, what I mean?
Well, I mean, it did show some of that, right?
I mean, a little bit, but it was only like before, like I think it was like when the the niece got snatched or whatever.
Yeah, it showed some of it, I think, but I agree. I totally agree.
I just wish you would have gone into that a little more, just so it shows like the fate of his kinfolk along with like himself. What might happen. So I don't know. That's just me, though.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I think that would have been a good connector. You got anything on that, guys?
There was little subtle references to the past relationship he had with his niece's father. There was problems there. So there was a little bit of that. I do agree with Mac. I'd like to see more on the deeper psychological effect on him coming home, how he's trying to adjust to this quiet life, which, it showed him like walking on horses and everything like that, but it could have gone in a bit deeper because I feel like the whole film was kind of like a setup to show the last act. You could have taken that last act away from the film, and that could have given us a mini Rambo film, like I was saying, with the standalone universe, to say, hey, here's an adventure. We are working on a new Rambo film, but for now, here is one of his adventures against some cartels who are not too happy with him.
I was gonna say earlier, it does feel more like a side story. Like this is like either a video game or a comic book or like the graphic novel or some other sub chapter.
It does feel that way. Like it feels like a story that it was just one more chapter in Rambo after like what you explained or whatever. But the thing is like. Man. Well, I'm not gonna give away the ending or nothing like that, but it seemed like they made it kind of open for another one. But it's
that's right.
I wouldn't even. I'd like get into that at the very end. Like basically, the way it seems like that is like it's kind of like what Gaz was saying about it being a standalone. What I was just gonna say is it seems like they had to find a way to show him at home sometimes because he's always between wars. You know what I'm saying? So if there's one like when he does go home, if there's one chapter when he's between wars, this is what happens to him when he's at home. You know what I mean? It's a never-ending war for him. He still gets into domestic
the war against normality,
drug trafficking war, human trafficking war, whatever it is that he's in. You know what I mean?
So
not to mention, Gaz, don't mean to cut you off, but I remember when you mentioned, I remember when you mentioned what you call it, like the niece and the father, you know. Like my thing is, if they would have came with that with like Rambo's father, then it would have explained a little more about his family and then his reconnecting with them again, just to see how did Rambo, you know, grow his human side even further more besides just like, because the fourth one we saw him like. He's a maniac at the end, dude. Like, like a total freaking maniac at the end. And now he's gonna come home after all that, like, like
yeah. Well, that was really extreme. I could use a little break.
Yeah, okay, let me go home. Bye.
That's like, he's in a maniac again.
That's like the one day. That's like the one day break he has when he can like sleep just for like one night, but then he has to like go fight another war tomorrow or something.
Would you have liked to have seen this though? You know, when he went into Mexico to look for his niece, if they'd have explored that paramilitary angle where they could have had that team, which we'll get to, that goes after him at the end, but where there was a bit of back and forth and he's forced to retreat back over the border and then he sets the final act. At least kind of that would have expanded that. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I totally agree. I guess they tried to do their little tweaks to like, I guess, try to make it seem realistic at times. I don't know. The one thing I don't like about it is like forced hyper realism when they like over analyze it and overlook into it much. Like if he went down there, he would get owned the first time, then he'd get sent back, and then he'd have to come back, because even that in itself like seems a little bit cliche. But like, you know what I'm saying? The whole like revenge thing of like, oh yeah, his niece got kidnapped, and I just want to say. And I like this movie, by the way, and I'm going to get into. I guess we've been dwelling on the bad, so people probably think we're about to give this movie a 3 when we're done. But we're really not. The ending was absolutely sick, and we haven't even covered it yet. But it's like things that happened at the beginning. I felt were slightly cliche, and some of those it was like highly predictable. Which I'm sitting here. It's a Rambo movie. You know what I mean? And it's you know what I mean? It's so.
I'm sure we can get into the response to there being too much violence, etc. And I'm like, this is a Rambo film. This isn't like about Rambo, going, I don't know, going to Burning Man or something and telling us how he enjoyed Burning Man in the desert.
Yeah, Rambo 5, Kindergarten Cop 3. You know what I mean? No, that's not what we're going for here. So to get into some of the controversy, then, because that's what we do at Paradigm Reviews. So we want to say hello and goodbye to all the SJWs that thought this movie was too extreme because you can't watch an R-rated action film. You can tune out of the stream live feed right now, and you can hit unsubscribe because we don't want SJWs sitting here complaining about every action movie that we review because there was guns or blood effects into it, because those have been around for 40 years. If you can't watch that, it's like
adult themes.
We're gonna be reviewing action films. Tune out. And the other thing is this controversy about Rambo saying like you don't know how black a man's heart could be. The SJWs tried to turn that into a racist thing, not knowing that Rambo's character is like half Italian, half native. So like what?
I mean, that's like an old reference right there. Just,
right.
Like, way before this, but basically just talking about how.
Mac, your mic is a little bit jacked up right now, bud.
You're breaking up a little bit. I think. Feel free to jump in here, fam. But I think Mac was just saying how that was just like an old reference, an old way of saying how we say someone's like a very dark, evil individual.
Yeah. Right.
There we go. You're back, Mac.
All right, good, finally. But yeah, man. I mean, just basically like there's gonna be like always references and lines and such. It's always gonna be like somebody gonna look at something, overanalyze it, and just pretty much as you say, you know what I mean? Just take it
Right.
to something else, and then they're gonna like criticize the movie for being insensitive or being. But you know, people forget this is freaking Rambo. You know what I mean? Like, how long
Yeah.
did Rambo exist? How long did we hear the same dialogue from over and over again? Basically, just saying
Right.
something a lot more deep and poetic with something
Right.
taken out of context. And it seems like that's the issue. People like to take things out of
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what we live in now, and I'm sure we talk about it daily, me and you guys, is this sound bite, take anything and magnify it, and you know what I'm saying, type of thing. I don't, slightly unrelated, but same type of situation. This thing that just happened with Joe Rogan with how he made a video that he might support the Bernie Sanders campaign, and they're taking like that one soundbite and saying like, look what he said about this, look what he said about that, like saying, like Joe Rogan is homophobic, like exact same type of thing. Just taking a couple second soundbite completely out of context.
Trying to find something wrong with their whole interview.
Same thing that they did with the Rambo trailer or whatever they did that with. I don't follow SJW culture. Let me look at YouTube for things to get mad at. I mean, us three actually have full days, so we try to bring you guys the best content we can in action, crime, sci-fi, animation, and Indian short film.
And a good point of reference, what I think
our
is
own points of views, not nobody else.
Yeah, and a good point. What I think needs to be brought to attention is all three of us are from music backgrounds, underground punk, hardcore, metal. So that should kind of give a real big hint to kind of where the values and politically where I fall into. Not that I have time for any tricks. And VX and Mac. You've been in the underground hip hop scene. We're all part of Planet X Media. Your crew, Guerrilla Alliance. For many years, so we're coming at this with like a real talk perspective. But I'm getting tongue tied already. A real talk perspective, like Mac just said, our opinions, how we view things, how the talk in our cultures and scenes, where there's that directness associated with hip hop and punk, especially.
For sure.
So,
absolutely, the no sugarcoating is part of our policy here at the PXF conglomerate, but. Let's get back on track for this ending. So we have some ups and downs of the plot points. The movie dips, kind of plateaus in the middle for me. I felt myself slightly bored at times. And then it turns up. So take it away, Mac.
Yeah, it definitely does turn up. I mean, obviously, it just goes into like, deep into the tragedy of the story. But definitely, though, it does turn up at the end. And, Rambo does what he does best at the end.
We'll just say he needs to go get some. He needs to go get to somebody. He may or may not use a hammer on the way in. We'll just leave that part undisclosed, and then
video, just a long one.
A reference to old Vietnam War tactics, including
one of the most epic ones ever. And we'll just say
talk about that fight because that fight is way too epic.
We'll just say that he uses some of his old guerrilla war tactics, which is the whole point of a Rambo movie. I guess that's what the survivalism.
Exactly, like that part felt like Rambo.
That part felt like Rambo. That part felt.
It's like the other half of the other movie, just like I don't know where was it going?
Dude, the movie goes from a 4 to almost an 8 when that final fight starts.
It's like time to wake up, isn't it?
Dude, it's time to wake up, big fucking time, dude. That's when the SJWs were running out of the theater. Mom! You know what I mean? Those kids were so mad that they bought a ticket, dude. They were losing their minds.
Yeah.
This guy, what the hell? I didn't even watch the last 4. I thought we were going to Happy Feet. I'm in the wrong theater, Mom. You know what I mean? There's a lot of moments like that.
It was a deep, tragic story. It doesn't made on fire too. What the
heck? Mom, you said it was frozen. So.
It's Rambo. In the end, it is Rambo.
It is.
Rambo you guys have never seen.
The end makes it Rambo.
I'll give it this just before that, and what causes one of the points where he snaps, where and this is going to drop a spoiler, but I'll just say when he finds his niece and he's on the journey back home, I did think that was really sad, and it was well done. We did get a little bit of that hint on the effect in him. Okay, it was a bit predictable, a bit cliche. We could see what was going to happen, I guess, but I still thought it was well done, to be fair. And you saw that sadness with him, and it was sad what happened to her. And then it set up that whole last act, which then it does turn into the Rambo film. It's like a spin-off film from this kind of slow-paced drama at the start. And cinematography was good. I thought it was well shot. The way without giving out major spoilers, but I'll just say the way he defends where he is, and sets everything up, and the tools he's using and the way it's done. Oh man,
super original, super clever.
Incredibly. I mean, in the end, how I look at it is like an experiment of where to put the Rambo character in a setting like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's how it seemed. I mean. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, we don't know where he'll turn up next, but you know, if this is the last one, though, then you know, obviously, we can all agree like it's not the best out of the whole series, but
maybe Rambo versus the MCU.
Yeah, no, it's not the best. It's not the best. I would say this is probably the most like. I don't want to call it average, but this is the most average Rambo movie. You know what I mean?
Let's just say this: when everyone thought Rambo 3 was the worst out of the series. It is actually, at least Rambo 3 had a lot of freaking action. This one,
no way. Rambo 3 is a real.
Rambo 3 is freaking crazy. Dude.
Some of my boys' favorite one is Rambo 3. So like, it's Rambo 3 gets it's just.
And it had the Colonel in there, man. Like, come on, man.
Dude. So this one right here. So yeah, like we said, it turns up big time at the end. It becomes a real Rambo movie, and. Well, I guess what you were saying, Gaz, with that scene that happens, I mean, that's more of like the Sylvester Stallone acting and showing that, like we said, background subtext of the character, which Sly Stallone can do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if I want to see him do it like in a Rambo movie. And also, if there's a Rambo movie that he acted in, it's First Blood. You know what I mean? So,
but if he added all of those other extra elements in addition to like his character depth, I think it would have grown. I think that story between the relationship between him and his niece would have been more. Yeah. It would have been more like, you know, saddening. I mean, and more. I would have felt that, you know, like between the two. So it was like, yo, you know, but it's a Rambo film.
Hey, the ending is awesome. Definitely watch it. Awesome. If you're a Rambo fan, definitely watch it. If you're a Sly Stallone fan, definitely watch it. If you're an action fan, watch it. If you're a PXF Ancient Visions fan, watch it. And you guys want to go to, I'll just say that the ending is awesome. You know what I mean? It's by far the best part of the whole movie. And that definitely makes it. You know, I saw it in the theater. I mean, I felt justified for my ticket.
How awesome I've sat through worse turds.
That ending, big time. And Gaz's favorite movie is Terminator: Dark Fate. So wrap your head around that. No. This guy's never going to do no show with me again. We go straight into ratings if you guys want to.
Ratings, man. Obviously, I give this a 7.5.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you know, action is there. Like, actually, there at the, you know, it's there during the film, but not as much as it is during the end.
Yeah, I agree.
When he was ape shit and
super.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? And other than that, so you know, it's just. Where it lacked on was just basically story and character depth and all that, but you know, it's still, you know, the story still, you can still understand the story. You know, it's simple.
Right. Yeah, it's basic.
Yeah, it's just like I said, you know, it's Rambo, just not 100% Rambo, but it's
right. I hear. Gaz?
Yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as all the reviews have suggested. Especially a lot of the big indie majors and mainstream critics. This is still a solid action movie. It's just incredibly slow paced and not what you would expect from a Rambo movie at the start. And frankly, it's quite boring. But it is saved by the final act, where it's all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm sitting watching a Rambo movie. That action scene, the way it's choreographed, stage set up, and shot is incredible.
Definitely.
And it left me feeling like, man, now I want to see a full Rambo movie. I want to see more of this. Please give us another chapter, just one chapter where we can get the Rambo movie that we should have got with this now. It's not to say it's a terrible film, but it's not.
Right.
do want to give
You owe
a
your
shout
fans,
out.
Fly. You owe your fans, man.
And I do want to give a shout out to the actress that played. She was one of the locals when he was down in Mexico, and she, I think, was connected to the local church or something, I believe. I haven't seen this since, it was released last year, so my memory may be a little sketchy. But I thought she was quite good as well.
There's Paz Vega here. She's Carmen Delgado.
Yeah, that was her. So shout out to her. I thought she was pretty good. And again, folks, I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. I didn't come out with the theater feeling like I did when I saw The Predator 2018, where I've said many times on the show where I feel he's used his cloaking technology and stolen the dollars from my wallet and said, now you've seen my shitty movie.
I agree.
So I was reasonably satisfied. I would like us to get another one just so we can get the Rambo movie that I think we should have got this time. But like with everything, folks, music, film, books, comics, whatever, if you're a Rambo fan, you're an action fan, definitely go and see it and make up your own mind and let us know what you thought as well, if you liked it or if you didn't like it.
So basically, in other words, Gaz is saying it's like going to a restaurant that you really like going to, ordering that dish, but then one day it came and just gave you crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't need to go into Shane Black though. You can reference our Predator, the Predator 2018. What year was that piece of crap? And you can go see all what we thought about that film.
Don't get me started.
I watched that movie like this with my phone in my face because it was so bad. So it has Rambo Last Blood has a 6.2 on IMDb. I actually gave it a 7, but like I said, the last fight was an 8 because it was freaking awesome. You can follow our correspondents at C Dark Cruise and at Irrefutable Matt Irrefutable. I'm sorry, dude, if I messed up your tag. And you know what I'm saying? They both have they usually have their thoughts on the same films that we watch, and I think they agreed that it was kind of a Rambo revenge film, and me on a sequel. I don't know. I mean, the way that this went, I think maybe it just ended there, unless they could do it right, like Gaz says. But I don't want to see another. I don't want to see Last Blood Part 2. I don't want to see another one of Rambo at home. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to see
Rambo on the Rambo.
Exactly. Or Rambo Final Blood.
Sheriff Rambo, Walker, Texas Rambo. I don't want to see any of those. So,
Exactly.
This is PXF. Like, subscribe, share. Not a film for SJWs, not a film for outrage PC culture, nor is our channel or the Paradigm Review Show. Follow at Gas Wanderer at what's your Twitter now, Mac? Is it Mac the Rebel PXR?
Mac the Rebel PXR.
Follow him
on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah.
Follow me if you're on this stream. You should already have mine. And next week we're going to be doing The Joker 2019, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Directed by Todd Phillips. It's going to be an anti-SJW outrage PC culture review specifically because you guys swore that if this was a violent movie, it would do so terrible, and you were wrong. So,
man, I'm going to tear them apart, man. On this.
If you want to see that, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know what else you want us to review. We have some other things. Mac and I are going to try to do Swamp Thing. I'm sure, Gaz, you have some things. Me and you could do Nightfall, and we could also fire up the old H of Visionz channel where we do the rest of our broadcasts. So check us out. Shout out to our correspondents, our subscribers. Like, subscribe, share. We got more things coming soon.
Keep it locked, y'all. Planet X Media 1.
For sure. YouTube.com/Planet X Film, PlanetXRecords.net, and follow us on anti-social media.
Peace out. Peace.
1.